Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. It's going to be a little, it's a video I've not done in a while. I thought I'd do a currently inked video. So what I do is I thought I'd talk you through the pens I have inked at the moment, and then do a very quick writing sample with them just so you sort of see them in action. Let's start, well let's just start. So I can never remember the model number of this pen. It's like something 51 or Y51 or something like that. It's a Bauer pen. It's, you know, I think it's actually a really nice looking pen and it feels nice in the hand. It's a really interesting pen, nothing particularly fancy, but, you know, pretty sort of decent pen nonetheless. Next we have the Stipular Etruria Gorilla, which is a very cool stealth black stipular pen, and I love this pen a lot. It feels great in the hand, it's a fabulous size, and it writes beautifully. Next I have the Keiko Retro, a really budget-friendly pen, you know, modelled off Parker 51, but also with a couple of design features that make it unique. Next I have my Noodler's Ahab, which I've actually retrofitted with a Goulet broad nib because I just love how wet this pen becomes. I don't like the flex nib that comes on these, but I really liked this pen, and so I put a nib on it that agreed with my writing. Next we have the Pilot Custom 74? Oh gosh, my mind's blanked. Yeah, 74. It says it right there on the band. 74. I have that inked with Detrimentus Giuseppe Verdi, one of my favourite dark blue inks. There's a few sort of blues hanging around in this. Next I have Alami Safari. Gotta have Alami Safari. This is with an extra fine nib, and that's inked with Robert Ostow Great Southern Ocean. Next I have a Franklin Christoph Model 31, which is running a little bit low on ink now. It's inked with Omas Purple. Obviously I only have a sample of that, but it's a really lovely sort of light purple ink that dries almost sort of grey purple. It's quite nice in a way. And I love that pen model as well. It is just beautiful. Next I have my comedy pen for the day, which is the Gamma Jumbo Acrylic, which is huge. As you can see, if I put it alongside the rest of the pens, it dwarfs everything. Very cool pen, massive ink capacity. And then of course the last pen, which is going to be probably inked up for the rest of my life, is the Visconti Homosapiens Bronze Age. Really cool pen, really great pen, and something that I'm still totally in love with. So that's what I have inked up at the moment. Let's do a writing sample with these, and we'll see what we've got going on. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing the writing samples in this Baron Fig Vanguard little notebook. This is the side-stitched book. I'm going to be doing a little video on these books in the new year, so I thought I'd test them with a whole bunch of inks, and what better way than by doing a currently inked video. So let's get started. Let's start with the Bauer. Okay, so you have the Bauer. Oh, hard start, good start. As I said, I can't remember the model of this exactly, so I will put that in the notes. And this ink is the Birmingham pen company. This is the Grand Avenue Horizon. So my only thing with this pen is that it does hard start a little bit. It's a nice pen to write with, and when it's writing, it writes beautifully smooth and wet. But yeah, when it stops writing, it just becomes a bit of a pain. Next, we had the Stipular Etruria Gorilla. This is inked with Franklin Christoph Urushi Red. And this is a medium nib, and the ink, as I said, is Franklin Christoph Urushi Red. This is a lovely ink. It sort of dries browner than it goes on. It's a really gorgeous colour and nice and wet, and in this pen, as you can see, it's quite a nice match. Then we have the Keiko Retro, an easy sort of carry pen, and I like it a lot. the ink in this is Lamy Black. Now this is labelled as a fine nib, but it's not particularly fine. It does have a sweet spot, as my video on the pen sort of suggested. But yeah, really, really great pen. Smooth, easy to write with. Then we have the Noodler's Ahab, which, as I said, I have put a Goulet broad nib on. And this is inked with Franklin Christoph Honeycomb. Nice wet ink, nice wet pen. So it's a Goulet broad nib. It's actually Yovo really, isn't it? Branded with Goulet. Interesting ink, not as I thought it would be. I was hoping there'd be a little bit more, I just think I put a Ruchi Red into there, a little bit more sort of yellow to it, but it's a nice ink nonetheless. There's a couple of sort of honey coloured inks that are very similar to that. Next we have the Pilot Custom 74. And this is with Giuseppe Verdi ink. Oh gosh, can't spell it. Should be able to spell it. My favourite composer after all. And this is, and that's De Trementis, of course. One of my favourite inks. It's a really lovely dark, rich blue. One of my favourite pens. Last year this was in my top 5 for that year, and it's still right up there. It's a really, really great pen. No wonder it's sort of held up as a favourite by so many people. A nice sort of gold nib, simple design, elegant, just a really good all-round pen. Lamy Safari. Everyone's sort of, you either love it or you hate it. I like them a lot. This is one of the only extra fine nibs I enjoy writing with. And the ink is Robert Oster. Great Southern Ocean. I'm doing a review of this ink, so I won't give sort of too much away, but suffice to say that in this pen, I think it looks great. Just move that up a little bit. Okay, 3 pens to go. Franklin Christoph. Now, obviously I've had a couple of Franklin Christoph inks here. I have a couple of Franklin Christoph pens and I love them. I really do. The other model I have is the number 2, I think it is, and it has the threads on the end of the section, and I find that to be a little bit of a pain. But also the section on this one is that recessed section, and as you can see, sort of a lot of ink gets sort of up in there, and it's not my favourite feature on the pen, I have to say. But the way the pen's write and the way they feel in the hand is absolutely gorgeous. So this is a broad nib. And the ink is Omas Purple. As you can see, as it sort of dries, it goes from that sort of vibrant violet to a sort of a more subtle bluey grey purple, which is, yeah, it's really interesting ink. I wish that, I hope that whoever made these inks for Omas, or, you know, will be able to make them for another brand, because there's a couple of these inks that are really very, very nice. Next is the Gamma Jumbo Acrylic. The monster. This thing is huge, but it feels really great in the hand. Super comfortable, not heavy, and also writes quite nicely, particularly for a fine. It's a bit scratchy, but I'm going to smooth it out once I've spent a bit more time with the pen. So this is the Gamma Jumbo Acrylic. I think I've spelled that right. And the ink is SBRE Brown. So yeah, it's a pretty wet pen really, and nice. You know, it's not smooth. It is a bit rough, but it's nice in the hand and it feels good and it's nice to write with. So I really can't complain. I've only had the pen a short time, so I'm still getting to know it. But apart from a couple of sort of drying out issues, I'm pretty happy with it for the most part. And then of course my baby, the Visconti Homosapiens Bronze Age, which is one of those pens that for me is just so good. Now this is a medium, and it's inked with Diamine. Oops, Oxford blue. So as you can see, it's actually broader than a lot of the, it's as broad as some of the broad nibs and broader than a lot of the mediums that I have here. It's just a big, generous, wet, beautiful pen. Oh, interesting. That doesn't happen. Of course it does when it's recording. So yeah, I love this pen. I will probably have this pen inked for, when it's not inked, it's being cleaned and getting ready to be inked. I'll put it that way. It's just a fabulous pen. There's nothing about it that I really don't like. A few things that I think are not perfect, but nonetheless a very good pen. Anyway, this was my currently inked at the moment, what I have going, and if there's anything you've got questions about from all of this, let me know. And yeah, I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. Please feel free to get in touch using any of the platforms listed below, and yeah, I find me on Instagram, Twitter, I'm at @the_offstage_me. If you've got questions or products you think I should be looking at, or if you've got a way that you think you'd like to support this channel, get in touch and let's see what we can do. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you later.